And welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you March 12th, Thursday, here to bring you the latest and greatest from Rangerland. Spring training, just about a week and a half left or so. We are going to go through as much as we can with you. Of course, Rangers signing Jalen Beeks today, left-handed pitcher. See what he is possibly going to do in terms of fit in this Rangers bullpen, signed to a major league contract, so we know that he will be on the 40-man. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about what that means for other Rangers pitchers. We'll go through several storylines from today's game and also from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be a great show. Of course, we're always going to take comments and questions from you along the way. Man, I'm getting excited for spring training to be coming to an end and the regular season to be beginning here in just a couple of weeks, man. It's going to be awesome. And of course, for all my MLB The Show lovers, tonight is the night. I am looking forward to that release. I bought the early access. I never end up playing it as much as I intend to, but you know what? The first weekend is always fire, so I'm ready to go with that as well. I am definitely fired up for this show, y'all. It's going to be a good one. Let's start here. We have a little bit of a debate going on, I think, right now when it comes to the DH spot. And I know a lot of people, Jock Peterson is a bit polarizing. I talked about him a little bit today as I was posting on X. Wrote an article about him on Sunday, I believe, as well. And I just think right now with Jock, of course, you can always point to spring training, but the numbers right now are not outstanding for him. Jock Peterson hitting below 500 for the OPS. I think the average is right around $160. And you got Andrew McCutchen, who has come into the fold and has put together some really quality at-bats. Some really quality at-bats so far, has hit the ball hard. We know that McCutchen is one of the top hitters when it comes to walk rate. Doesn't chase a lot. This is a guy that gives you a professional AB every time. And you look up and down the box score today, McCutchen did not play, did not factor into this one, but he is off to a solid start as a part of the Rangers. And you can imagine, at minimum, he's going to be a platoon DH. I know a lot of people kind of pushed back on me a little bit when I got really excited about the McCutchen signing to begin. You know, it's just a minor league deal. He might not even make the team. Yeah, come on now. I think we see what we've got, what we're working with right now. Again, Jock Peterson sitting at $167. And you guys know what I've always said when it comes to spring training. If you got a guy who's really looking to rebound, if you got a guy that is fighting for a 40-man spot, spring training stats matter. It gets old just hearing it's just spring training for every single player, like good or bad. Like at some point, the stats have to matter. And for me, guys that are going to make the roster, sure, you can definitely make an argument that, you know, they're tweaking things, they're messing with things. Maybe their numbers aren't as important. You know, Corey Seager, 741 OPS. I mean, not bad, but not Seager-like, right? I don't think anybody's worried. Guys like Jock that came off a terrible 2025 and are in a contract year, Jock Peterson, is this really his last ride? You don't think Jock wants to play baseball for another year? I would say he does. And in a contract year, you would think he would want to come out firing. I don't think he is working on a couple of things right now. I think for Jock Peterson, it's very production-based. It's not great seeing that. It's not great seeing that slash line, those numbers. Strikeout today. I forget what he did in his other plate appearance. I'll have to look it up really quick, see if I can figure it out if possible. But I'm worried, I think, at this point. And I think a lot of Rangers fans are too. Could McCutchen take on more of an everyday role as DH if it gets bad? I do think it's probably trending that direction. I think they've got some guys that they can slide into the DH spot. Corey Seager's one of them. Speaking of, Brandon Nimmo, I think, is another one. So I don't think you have to go with McCutchen every single day. But I do think, you know, the Rangers are not at a loss when it comes to potential DH replacements. We'll just say that. I think Jock Peterson, the nature of the contract, you want to see him turn it around. You want to see him play well. but I don't think the Rangers are going to waste a lot of time. You've got a number of different options that you can plug in if it doesn't go well. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see where they hit Jock in the lineup, if they're just going to go ahead and plant him right in the heart of the order again, or if they're actually going to maybe start him 7th, 8th. That's probably where I'd be starting at this point. Jock Peterson, by the way, the other one, a ground out, 103 off the bat. So look, good contact today, even though he did not end up getting a hit. The strikeout, obviously not what you want to see, but hard contact for Jock Peterson on the ground out. It did feel like last year Jock did get robbed at times, got a little bit unlucky. At the end of the day, though, man, this is what have you done for me lately? This is back of the baseball card type sport. If the numbers aren't there, you can only prop up the advanced stats for so long. You can only do it for so long, man. All right. We'll get into a couple other things. I'll talk bullpen in a little bit as well. Appreciate you, man. K, good to see you as always. I'll definitely talk pen. I will make sure we get to that. We want to talk about Jalen Beeks, new signing, latest Ranger coming into camp. Good stuff. I think that's going to be our next topic. I'll filter the comments real quick without getting into some kind of crazy tangent. I can't promise y'all. You know how it goes. If you've been around long enough on the show, you know exactly how this goes. We sometimes get a little off task, but we always bring it back full circle. But it's great to see all y'all on TikTok. I will definitely be checking comments, both YouTube, X, TikTok. If I miss something, forgive me. We get off on our rants. Sometimes it's hard to pull it back in, but I definitely want to make sure I get to your comment or question if I possibly can. And so feel free to copy and paste again. I definitely want to make sure that I am locked in to what all y'all have to say as well. It's a part of the fun of the show, honestly. I mean, I could sit here and yak all day long, and the real ones know this. I got an hour and a half to 2 hours in me if you let me, but I like to get other people involved too. So definitely post a comment or question if you guys got one. Let me keep on rolling. If Young got hurt, could it possibly be Berger at third, Jock first, and Kutch DH? That's interesting. I think, Kate, it really depends on Jock hitting. I think the Rangers are going to prioritize hitting this year, and rightfully so. The last 2 years have been unacceptable. Jock can definitely play first base. Berger can definitely play third base. It is going to be curious. My thought would be, if Young is not ready, and we're going to talk about Josh Young too, if Young is not ready, do you actually go Smitty third base? And then do you plug like a Tyler Wade in at second? Or, one of the other depth guys, Ezekiel Duran. It really depends on what the Rangers are comfortable with. Look, Tyler Wade has had a great spring. Zeke had a home run the other day. It's boosted his numbers a little bit. Pretty ho-hum spring for Zeke. I think it's just going to depend on who's hitting. Like, if Jock is not hitting, I don't think they're going to try Jock at first base. I think they'll go Zeke Duran. They'll go Tyler Wade, inserting them into the infield. Maybe they play Duran at third. Maybe they play Wade at third. I think they will probably go that route if those guys are hitting. If Jock is hitting, sure, I could see it work out. By the way, Josh Young still not involved yet. They said March 10th was going to be the day that maybe he would look to get back in the lineup. We're at March 12th right now. I'll say this. This is kind of my... I wanted to hold off on this because I wanted to talk about Jalen Beeks, but I got to get this off my chest. Like, I don't think that the Rangers and the medical staff in the front office, I don't think they're liars. I don't think that they are, not truthful. I'm not going to put on the tinfoil hat and go that direction. But I will say, and I think this is very fair, we have seen a number of different times as Rangers fans how the Rangers will positively put out a report. They'll try and go glass half full. They will try and make sure there is no ounce of negativity when it comes to an injury update. And then we end up seeing the player not come back when the Rangers originally said they would. And so at this point, I do not trust really at all that Josh Young is going to be ready for opening day. There's nothing that this club has done in the past. This club has rarely been right when it comes to the injury prognoses, if that's a word, prognoses, I don't know, whatever. Hopefully I got it right the first time, but I hope y'all forgive me. The Rangers have rarely gotten it right when it comes to diagnosing how long a player is actually going to be out. I mean, we could go down the line. Last year, there were so many cases, 4 to 6 weeks, and we're at 6 to 8, 2 months, and we're at 3. There's a number of cases where the Rangers have tried to put out positive vibes, tried to put out a positive front, if you will, and it just hasn't come to fruition. So for me, I'm going glass half empty when it comes to Josh Young. I'm not going to hold my breath that he is going to be opening day ready. If he is, outstanding. I hope to eat a lot of crow and be wrong on that. I just kind of see the writing on the wall at this point. The Rangers always try and overestimate, if you will, underestimate the return dates, and I'm just not sitting around expecting that it's actually going to happen. If the Rangers were a little bit more accurate the last 2 years, injury reports, the prognosis of certain players, I'd feel differently. It's rarely worked out that a player has come back when the Rangers say that he will. And so for me, I'm skeptical. And I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think I'm being unfair there. I think a lot of Rangers fans feel that the medical staff and the front office are not as forthcoming as they probably could be. The club doesn't owe anybody anything. You'd like them to be honest and upfront, but for me, I do not trust Josh Young is going to be ready for opening day. And so I want to put that out there, not to be just negative and spew that, but just to keep expectations perhaps where they should be. I think expect he's not going to be ready, and be really happy if he is at 10 out of 10, 100% good to go. That's me. I think Josh Young at this point, it's just tough, man. He's not doing himself a lot of favors. Sometimes he get unlucky. So I know I make it sound like Josh has control over this. Maybe some people would argue you do have control over injuries to an extent, injury prevention, all that kind of stuff. And we don't know what Josh's regimen is when it comes to taking care of his body, what preventment plans the Rangers have him on. But it feels unfortunate, but Josh Young just not going to shake the injury prone label with something like this. It's sad. I feel bad for the player. I feel bad for Josh because I like Josh Young a lot. But at this point, I just don't think that this injury is doing him a lot of favors in the public eye. I hope he's ready for opening day. I'm going to expect that he won't be, and be very pleasantly surprised if he comes out raking opening day. We keep going. Pick Wade over Hellman. I'm probably there too. Tyler Wade over Hellman. I would most likely be on the Wade train just because I think he can play a little bit more versatility around the field. I think he can play second, third. I think he can play a lot of different positions, man. So I'll go with the versatility of Wade, and I like how Wade has swung the bat this spring. Not that Hellman has been terrible, but 398 OPS for Mike Hellman, not exactly what you want to see. I mean, look, Jock is better than 398 right now. Mike Hellman, beyond a home run that he hit, about a week ago, has not given you much this spring to feel super confident about. I think Tyler Wade with that 524, 1345 OPS is looking a lot better. Tyler Wade was 0 for 1 today, but man, it feels like every time he starts, he's getting at least a hit or two. If Tyler Wade can do it, this is my other thing. If Tyler Wade can do it, you've got to start holding some of these other guys to the same standard, man. If Tyler Wade can hit 1345, why can't we expect Jock Peterson to be a 600 plus OPS, man? It's 453 right now. Evan Carter, he had another nice hit today, 1 for 3, 1022 OPS on the spring. Evan Carter giving you a lot of hope. All right, more on that later. Young and Seager will never be healthy. Feels a little bit that way. What's left on Young's contract? I think he's 2029 UFA. I think Josh Young is a 2029 UFA. Yeah, the Young injury, I'm just seeing this. Did something else happen with Young? They just said yesterday he was about to be back. Steven, I don't think he's ready. I think they basically just said with Young, he's not ready yet. So I don't think there was something new. I just think the adductor, the strain is still there, and I just think they're being extra cautious for me, like I said, I'll believe it when I see him in the starting lineup on opening day. But I mean, you're missing right now. He's on almost 3 weeks being out. I mean, this is a lot of timing, and it's unfortunate because I think you guys remember, was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2024, wasn't it, when Corey Seager had the hernia surgery and he missed all of spring training? And then April was just terrible for Corey. Corey had a terrible month of April, finally started heating up in May. But we know that it's a very real thing. You miss spring training, you miss reps in spring training. I mean, hitting is a timing thing, man. You miss that time. It's tough for some players. Some guys, probably not as big of a deal, but for other guys, it's tough. Sometimes these injuries happen, talking about Young here, and they diagnose it and it just gets worse, like Walcott. Yeah, I think that that's absolutely possible. Again, I'm not putting on the tinfoil hat when it comes to the Rangers medical staff and front office. What I am saying is, like it or not, over the past 2 years, the Rangers have just not been very accurate in their prognosis for a number of different players. They have not been accurate when it comes to how long a player is actually going to be out. More often than not in Rangerland, it's been 2 to 4 weeks beyond what they originally say. It's rare that the Rangers give you a number and it's either met or it's bettered. It's just very, very rare, unfortunately. I think once he gets cleared to play in some games, he's been doing some baseball activities, but when will he appear in a game? We'll see. Agreed on that. Wish we could rely on Duran more to sub in for injuries. He's had many chances, but can't do it. I cannot say, based on what I have, the evidence in front of me, I cannot say I am a huge Ezekiel Duran believer. That doesn't mean I hate the player or I don't like him, but I just don't think he has done enough with the opportunities. I think that's really well said. I would love to see another player get an opportunity. You guys know I've been, the leader of the Cam Cauley fan club for a long time now. At least I'm crowning myself that, along with several other of you guys who have liked him for a long time. But I think Cam is probably going to start out in AAA. I'd love to see him get an opportunity later on in the year. Tyler Wade, feel the same way about him. Give me some Tyler Wade over Ezekiel Duran at this point. I know Zeke's got a cannon. I know he hit the home run the other day. I'm ready for some fresh blood when it comes to the bench, whether it's young talent or whether it's guys that are new. I mean, it's a little messier with Tyler Wade because you got to clear out a 40-man spot for him. Zeke Duran's sitting right there. It's tough, man. It is tough. 11-8 in spring training. I feel the same way. Like, I think there were like 2 or 3 years in a row. I know not all of y'all are Cowboys fans, but there was like 2 or 3 years in a row where the Cowboys went like 0-4. And, you're like, yeah, it's spring training. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't like this. I don't like that we just lost 4 straight games. I know it's just preseason. I know it's just spring training, but it doesn't feel great when you're getting your butt kicked every day, whether it's spring training or not. And so I do like that the Rangers have had some positive results here. Again, I know some people couldn't care less about spring. Clearly, I do this for a living. I do care about spring. I don't think the Rangers are winning the World Series based on their spring training record. But I do think that winning games in spring training is helpful for team culture and building positively towards the regular season. Keep going, Eagle Run. What's good? Good to see you. Me check on TikTok. Appreciate all y'all hanging. I don't think Seager, the comment here, Seager's dried up. I don't think Siegs is done, but he is a notorious slow starter. We will say that. Siegs is not out. Salvador Siegs is healthy right now. He played today. Went 0 for 3, 238 average on the spring, 741 OPS. The starting rotation, very promising. I like the rotation a lot. I think you throw in Gore to the mix of Evo and DeGrom. You think about Jack Leiter taking the next step. You think about Jacob Latz. Kumar Rocker had a nice outing his last time out. I was really surprised when I looked up Kumar Rocker's baseball reference page. Kumar Rocker has 20 minor league starts in his professional career. 20. So basically, Kumar Rocker doesn't even have a full season. He barely has half a season of starts in his career as a professional baseball player at the minor league level. He almost has more major league starts than minor league starts. To me, I want to see Kumar Rocker go down to AAA, dominate, and then come back up and help the club. Maybe I think June, July, sometime in the summer. I want to see Kumar Rocker dominate at the AAA level. I don't trust that the arm is ready for major league competition right now. Does he have major league stuff? Of course. Nobody's saying he doesn't. This dude's got a great fastball, and the off speed can be absolutely filthy. Now, the intangibles, the mental side of the game, there's other components to this. There's a lot of guys that can throw upper 90s with a good off speed, but there's so much more to pitching than that. It's an art, right? I want to see Kumar Rocker master AAA before we throw him back into the MLB fire. I like what I saw the other day, but I'm not ready to throw him into the rotation. I think, though, you look at some of the other options, you definitely got to feel good. The Rangers have Caden Scarborough coming up in the minor leagues. You got a couple other starters that you got to feel good about. Teodo is one of them. He started a lot of games. I know they used him as a closer last spring, but Teodo started a ton of games. They got some arm talent. I'm not going to list out all of them, but I feel good where the Rangers are at pitching-wise, starting pitching-wise. You know, DeGrom and Evo, when they move on, it's going to be interesting. I do think the Rangers are going to have to reload a little bit, but you got to feel really good about the pitching. Keep on going. Let's see. You have, man, I love the peanut gallery comments. The people that say you don't know ball, but have nothing substantial to share themselves. Go ahead and give me a real opinion, buddy. Give me a real opinion. The trolls, man, they come out randomly, but we'll deal with it. It's all good. It's a part of the fun of the show, in my opinion. We keep rolling. I'm still waiting on that comment, man. Give me something good. Give me something of substance right now. Wonder how Brock Porter is coming along. Brock actually, I think, has had a couple of rough years, honestly. Rick, good to see you, man, as always. I could look up the numbers for Brock. Brock was, I mean, look, not expected to actually get drafted right out of high school. I think a lot of people thought he was going to go to Clemson. But Brock Porter, minor league numbers for right now, 2025. Let's get to it. Looks like 2025, he pitched a lot. He pitched a lot, man. But the numbers for you, ERA, 3.03, so pretty solid. Last year, not bad. I know the first 2 years were rough for him, but I think he settled in a little bit. Clearly, though, Brock Porter, you know, not top 5. You would have probably thought Brock Porter would be more higher up on the prospect list at this point. 4th round pick in the 2022 draft. I hope that he can continue to come along. I know he had kind of a bit of a rough landing, but you would think Brock Porter is going to continue to get better and better. I'll get the numbers for you from the first 2 years, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. I got a little bit of a slow connection here. Don't mind me. Yeah, last year was 303, 68 innings, 79 strikeouts, 1.23 whip. So pretty good. I'll work on those earlier numbers for you. Appreciate you guys. My opinion, Ben should be Haggerty, Wade, Duran, Jansen, Osuna, or Cauley could replace Wade or Duran at some point. I think at this spot, I think Haggerty and Jansen are the locks. And then after that, Wade, Duran, it's going to get interesting. I don't see a place for Osuna on this team right now, barring an injury. You've got Nimmo, you've got Carter, you've got other guys that you can throw out there in the outfield. I think Osuna was really going to have a killer spring, much like he had last year. Alejandro Osuna was the best hitter in spring training last year. I mean, he was raking. I think he led the team in hits last year in spring training. Alejandro Osuna did. I think this spring, you know, you're playing for Team Mexico, and he got a couple of ABs, did not do a whole lot with them, but it's tough, man. You're coming off the bench. I don't think anybody's going to blame him for that. But nevertheless, right, if you're Osuna, you really needed to have a crazy good time and surprise. And I don't think that he's really had the opportunity to do that because of his time at the WBC. I think the writing was kind of on the wall anyways, if we're being real. I don't think Osuna was going to be on the major league roster on opening day. You've got kind of, like I said, a pretty big move happening with the Nimmo trade. Once they got rid of Dolly and replaced with Nimmo, another lefty, you kind of said to yourself, is there really a spot on this bench for a guy that hits left-handed and can only play the outfield? I don't think so. I think there's room for guys that can play infield and outfield. Appreciate the gift, by the way, Amanda. Thank you so much. And hey, if you've given a gift and I've missed it, I want to say thank you. Very generous of you. Really, really appreciate your support of the show. I just think Osuna is going to be in AAA to start. And he's one of those guys that's probably too good for AAA. But at this point, it's just a bit blocked when it comes to opportunities at the major league level. Keep going. Offense has improved. Mace, appreciate you, man. I think the vibes around camp definitely seem to be up. I mean, you can't crown a World Series champion based on vibes, but you definitely feel better as a fan when the vibes are up. You can kind of tell last year, just guys were bumming. Guys were not really looking like, just based on what I saw on TV, just based on when you're at the games, it just didn't feel like there was a lot of super positive energy in the air around the team. Hey, who knows? We're not in the clubhouse, but that was definitely the feeling. Nimmo's awesome. Every time he would sign for fans, he would get every single last one. That is cool. I've heard nothing but good things about Brandon Nimmo. Nothing but good things. That's awesome. Why did Cal Quantrill have to be good for Canada? Because now he has me thinking, look, I know that Cal Quantrill was not facing like a crazy MLB lineup, right? He was not facing an MLB lineup. Cuba had a couple of guys that had major league experience, but we'd have to take, I think, the Cuba start with a little bit of a grain of salt. But look, on a big stage like the World Baseball Classic, Cal Quantrill goes 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He had a throwing error that led to 1 run being scored, but had, I think, 4 strikeouts as well. He pitched really well. And look, it's going to be fun to see him maybe come back to spring training and see what he can do. I still think it's a bit of a long shot for him to make the roster. Maybe he accepts the AAA assignment and goes from there. But Cal Quantrill, got to give him some props, man. I wrote him off pretty quick. I mean, to be fair, he did have a couple of very rough outings to start his spring training as a Ranger, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching him deal against Cuba. And USA will now play Canada tomorrow night. I don't think Cal is going to pitch in that game. Maybe he'll pitch a little bit later on if they make it that far, but we'll see. AJ Russell, love AJ Russell for sure. Brock Porter, definitely on the uptick. Where would Freeman go when he's healthy, Cade? This is a question a lot of people are asking. I do think that Cody Freeman is probably going to be inserted back into the major league team when he is healthy. I feel like it's going to be up to what the coaching staff sees from him when he is cleared. I haven't heard really any major updates on Cody at this point. I ought to check in with him. Maybe I'll try and check in with him at some point. But I think that the team really likes Cody as a depth guy, as a guy that can provide you a spark off the bench, as a guy that maybe could have competed with Josh Smith at second base. I think Cody is a big candidate to be one of those bench spots if he can come back on time. It was a 4 to 6 week time period, I believe. If he can follow in that range, I really do think he is going to be another one of those bench guys. We'll see what happens. Let me keep going. He might be, man. He might be a Dennis Schroeder type for all the NBA guys out there. Every time that guy plays for Germany, dude lights it up. Yeah, maybe it was the stage. I don't know. But for Cal, good for him, man. Good for him. And he was pumped. I love seeing the emotion out of him. He got a big strikeout to end the 5th inning. You saw the howl coming off the mound. I loved it. And I loved it. So hopefully it's the start of something good for Cal Quantrill. Look, if nothing else, just cheering on the guy personally. Hopefully another team took notice of that. If the Rangers do part ways with him, hopefully he can continue his baseball career. Just don't know if there's a very clear path for Cal at this point, but we'll see what happens. Foscue, does he start at third and Berger at first? Foscue is an interesting one. I've said the Rangers are probably going to hold off on DFAing Foscue. I'd be really surprised. I think some people, with the McCutchen signing, we were kind of throwing out some names. Could Foscue be DFA'd? I mean, you have to understand, teams do not like DFAing their first-round draft picks. And Justin Foscue, a 2020 first-round draft pick, you don't want to just discard these guys. They already had to do that with Davis Wenzel in the Gunnar Henderson draft. I don't need to go there, rub that in anymore. Don't want to rub any salt in that wound. But they've already let go of a very high pick, Davis Wenzel, last year. I don't think they want to double up and do it again this year with Justin Foscue. I think they'd be a lot more apt to let go of Ezekiel Duran over Justin Foscue if they are making room on the 40-man for somebody. It's going to be interesting what they do with this Jalen Beeks signing. You got to make room on the 40-man somehow. Mace, I don't know if you're still watching. By the way, Mason Hoban, great X account to follow. I think you're on a couple other socials as well, my guy. But did they make a corresponding move with Jalen Beeks? Let me know if you know in the chat, the Rangers, what they decided to do with the corresponding move. I would love to understand. I don't know what they're going to end up doing, man, but I am very, very curious. But Foscue, I think, is going to be safe. I really think that they are going to have a little bit of a runway for him this year. You just do not want to dump a first-round pick, man. It's very embarrassing. And I think the org is going to do all they can to try and get him to succeed. It hasn't been great to start, but it would surprise me if they let go of Foscue over a guy like Duran. I think they are going to try to make Justin work on the major league level and really give it a fair shake before they just dump him. And that's embarrassing. You let go of Wenzel and Foscue, two very, very high round picks. Wenzel's basically a first round pick too. 2 first round picks in back-to-back years. Whew! McIver, though, is the only other catcher beyond the 2 on the 40-man. Zach, I just don't know if they're going to dump McIver. You would think they would want to keep that third catcher on the 40-man. Wish the Rangers would have gotten Luis Arraez. I would have been a big fan of the Arraez signing. I know a lot of people were kind of crapping on that idea, but I'm actually quite a big fan of Luis Arraez. I just like the bat-to-ball skills. I like that he doesn't strike out, that he puts the ball in play. Look, the contract was a lot. I think when I saw the contract, I was like, okay, I get it. I did not think he was going to get that much, but he did, and good for him. If the contract is thrown out the window, I absolutely would have loved to get a guy like Arraez. Definitely curious as well who that DFA casualty is going to be. Excuse me. We keep on going. Juan, that's awesome. Chance to meet Wangan this weekend? My guy. To Padre, appreciate you, man. Robert Garcia got smoked in the WBC. It's been a while. Yeah, Robert Garcia finally coming back up. So let's talk RG. Robert Garcia, I think, had a really solid first 2 appearances in the World Baseball Classic. And Nolan Wrighton, I believe, came out with an article, that the 2 appearances prove that Robert Garcia needs to be the Rangers closer. And I just said, no, please. Excuse me. For me, I think Robert Garcia, 7th or 8th inning. That's where you want him to be. 7th or 8th inning. I really think that would have been the sweet spot. But what do I know? I don't get paid the big bucks. Robert Garcia, to me, lefty, 7th, 8th inning. That's where I want him to be. I think Robert Garcia at this point, probably not ready to get thrown into the fire of a 9th inning. I know some people are big fans, want to see it happen. But for me, I like 7th or 8th inning, calculated matchups, not in the 9th. In the 9th inning, I want to see one of our righties, one of our flamethrowers. That's what I would prefer. Now, the Jalen Beeks signing is interesting because to me, it signals a couple of different things, potentially. With Jalen Beeks signing a major league contract, you would think this means almost 100% that Jacob Latz is going to be the 5th starter. I think that is very evident through this move. The second thing that I think it signals, which I may possibly be wrong on, but it came to my mind almost immediately, does this mean that Robert Garcia is going to be the closer? I would think that you would really only sign Jalen Beeks if you wanted more lefties available at your disposal throughout the game, because maybe you're putting Robert Garcia in that 9th inning role, and clearly he's not going to be available to you in the 7th, 8th, or in the 6th inning. So I do kind of wonder, does this Robert Garcia as closer decision get made through this Jalen Beeks signing? I could be way off on this. I think I'm totally right on the first one. I think Jacob Latz has solidified. I don't think this is rocket science either, by the way. I think Jacob Latz has solidified the 5 spot, and I think the Jalen Beeks signing really secures that. But the other first thought that I had, does getting this lefty, Jalen Beeks, signal that the Rangers want some flexibility out in the bullpen? They've got Tyler Alexander. They've got Robert Garcia. You put Robert Garcia in that 9th spot, that 9th inning spot, all you got is Tyler Alexander. Now, Jacob Latz is the starter. He's not available as a lefty. I think the Jalen Beeks signing could be as a result of putting Robert Garcia in the 9th and wanting more flexibility than just Tyler Alexander. I also think when Cody Bradford comes back, it's going to get really interesting. If you have Cody Bradford in the mix, now you potentially have a third guy if you have Robert Garcia in that closer role, or a fourth guy. And that could be really interesting to see what they do with him. Cody Bradford, of course, doing a little bit of throw-in right now. Not sure when he's going to be back, though. Would have been definitely nice to have him right out the gate in spring training. Clearly, you want to take your time with Cody Bradford after an injury like what he sustained, the UCL brace. But it is going to be nice when Cody comes back. You're going to have things open up a little bit. I'm not sure he takes a spot in the rotation. I think Cody Bradford at this point is probably going to be a bit of a catch-all, maybe a long man out in the pen, maybe a guy you match up in high leverage. That, I think, is going to be one of the more intriguing things that I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out this season. That's what I'm interested in, to see what did things look like when Bradford is back, and even with Monty. Monty not going to be back till the summer months, but I'm totally with you on that. I mean, Jordan Montgomery, 40-man roster guy, right? So I am very, very curious myself. In the future, do I see Wynn or Curvello as the closer? I do think that Cole Wynn has plus stuff. I love the sinker. I love the heater. Curvello definitely could be another guy as well. They've also got, Collier and Baumler, man. Like, those guys throw gas. I think that there's a number of dudes that could take over that 9th inning mantle. And I actually feel pretty good about Chris Martin in the pen. I mean, when healthy, if he's healthy, I feel good about him in the 9th inning. Dude has elite swing and miss stuff. It's just the health that concerns you, right? But I think they've got the Rangers do, a lot of high-octane righties in tow that could step up and fill that role in the near future. We keep going. Yeah, Rick, I'm with you. Prayers up for Bradford, Jungle Cat, Carter, Seager, all these guys to stay healthy. 100%. Yeah, I think he is going to make the roster for sure. I don't think they are going to let Carter Baumler go back. Rule 5 draft, yeah, you've got to add, or they do go back. So I do think that the Rangers are going to open things up with Baumler. I think he'll make the pen for sure. 40-man roster right now. I'm just perusing it, just seeing if I can find anything. Looks like they have not added Beeks officially yet. Beeks has not been added to the 40-man officially. Clearly, it's going to end up happening. I'm going to try and look into the crystal ball here, what they're going to do. I'm very curious, man. There doesn't appear to be a pitcher that's on the 40-man right now that you would really want to go somewhere else. I mean, look, right now, I'm going up and down. I do not see a pitcher that you want to let go of. I think there's some guys on the position player side. We've talked about a couple of them already, but there does not appear to be an obvious choice unless you're putting somebody on the 60-day that we don't know about. Do I think Baumler would make it over Rocker? Yes, I do. I think Rocker is not going to be a guy you throw in the pen unless it's just going terrible at the major league level as a starter. I think it's going to take a lot for them to transition him. Rocker is just infinitely more valuable to the organization as a starter than as a relief guy. So I think they're going to be very patient in that way. Keep going. Fangraphs predicts Garcia, Martin, Spores, Alexander, Baumler, Beeks, and Junis. I don't see Spores, though. Interesting. Win. Yeah. Garcia, Martin, Win, Spores, Alexander, Baumler, Beeks, Junis. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. I know Josh Spores has not been by any means like terrible this spring. I think he has had a solid spring. The velo is ticking up a little bit, but I was a little surprised that Evan Grant reported that he was kind of in the thick of things. So for me, let's see what happens with Sporzy. That could be really cool. I mean, obviously, you only want it to happen if it's all the way good to go and right for the team and for the bullpen being that much better for it. You don't want to go sentiment here. You want to go who gives you the best chance. If that's Spores and he's pitching at an elite level, you'd love that. You'd absolutely love that. Spores velo was consistently 94 today, which was nice to see. Yeah, I mean, because Spores velo was like 92, 93 at times last year, and your eyebrows were up, man. You're just like, oh, geez. 92, 93. And this was a guy that threw upper 90s gas in 2023. So good to see Spores back up to 94, touched 95 the other day. Absolutely. Totally agreed on that one. What else we got? I hope I unfroze for all my TikTok people. How concerned are you about the Rangers losing their 10th silver boot in a row? I'm not, man. I am okay. I'll lose the silver boot again if it means winning the World Series, man. It's really okay with me. Hopefully the Rangers will win it this year, but look, the reality is let's see what happens in October. That's how I've always felt. Always. We need Spores back. Would be nice. I would not mind Josh Spores back in Arlington as a Ranger. I mean, look, I know he never technically really became anything else, but at this point, it would be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun. I do think getting up to 96 Mace is probably the magic number there. I think you're right on that one for sure. All right, let's keep things rolling. We had a few other things to go through. We're at about 45 minutes, got about 15 minutes or so left in the show. And at this point, a couple other things. First of all, Wyatt Langford absolutely crushing it. This dude has 3 homers in 9 games. We all thought 30-30 at the beginning of the spring. Even that throughout the offseason, people were saying that. It's looking like it's trending that direction. Wyatt Langford putting up some ungodly numbers in spring training in a good way. I love to see this guy continuing to take the next step. If he can be a staple in that number 2 spot, which it seems like it's really trending towards that in the Skip Schumacher offense, this team could get really, really dangerous really, really quickly offensively. You feel like they need a couple other guys to step up. Jake Berger stepping up is huge. That's another guy I wanted to touch on. The fact that you have Jake Berger mashing is just so pivotal to this Rangers offense. I always felt like the last 2 years, the cleanup spot was just a black hole for us. You really wanted there to be a right-handed bat that could take the reins, that could really take that by the horns. You hoped it was going to be Dolly the last 2 years. It really just didn't work out. And you were kind of looking at the cleanup spot this year, like, man, who's it going to be? Like, who is it going to be? Nimmo? Maybe Nimmo, but you would really prefer, with the way the Rangers are a little bit more lefty heavy, for that cleanup spot to be a right-handed power bat. So the fact that Jake Berger is mashing this spring just opens up so much. Now you don't have to think about Jock Peterson hitting fourth. You can feel comfortable moving him down a little bit more. And maybe the play is Jock Peterson fifth, Josh Young sixth. I think there's a number of different directions you can go. But I am happy to see the Rangers hopefully have found their guy in the cleanup role. It's huge. Do I think Jock has done Big Tex what's good? If you're like asking me to bet on it, like if you're asking me, is Jock going to have a great season this year? If you're asking me to bet on it, I'm probably saying no. And, you know, I'm not trying to be a hater. Y'all know I cheer for everybody to do well, but I call a spade a spade. I don't think I would be betting on Jock Peterson to have some prolific comeback. I definitely wouldn't bet on him winning comeback player of the year. Again, I hope to eat a massive amount of crow, but I would not bet on that. I would not bet on that. I would bet on Jock having a better year, like slightly better year than what he did last year. But I think we joked on the show, we quipped on the show the other day, like it's not hard to top what Jock did last year. I mean, that's the facts. So I think if I'm betting on it, no, I don't think he is going to have some massive bounce back. I really hope to be wrong. Seriously hope to be wrong. The swing, a lot of people have commented on this. Darnell, what's good, my guy? Thanks for hanging out. A lot of people have commented. Mace, I don't know if you're still hanging out. Did you see any Jock ABs? Some people were commenting to me, you know, I'm here and he just looks lost. And of course, not all these games are televised. If you've been to spring training this year and you've seen Jock, is that a fair assessment? Does he look lost up at the plate? I know he hit a ball pretty hard today, but some people, it feels like every time I post about Jock, somebody's like, I was at the game yesterday and he looked terrible. And I mean, you got to take people's word for it because you don't have every game televised, but man, it does feel like it's just not trending positively right now. It's not trending positively. Uppercutting, bad signing, man. I don't think it's as bad as the Chan-Ho Park signing because that Chan-Ho deal, I mean, you got to adjust for inflation as well. You can't just, 2004, 2025. The money's not completely the same value, right? You got to adjust a little bit for 20 years passing. But the Chan-Ho deal was like, a 4 or 5 year deal? I still would probably put the Chan-Ho Park deal worse than the Jock Peterson deal, but it's close. But probably have some recency bias there. Did change the bat path to be more vertical this year like he has in the past. Sure hope it works, man. I sure hope it works. Seriously. All right, let me keep rolling. I'm scrolling back through my X account, by the way. Follow me over on X. I post every day, multiple times a day. Put out a lot of highlight videos on there. Definitely would recommend it. And I know I've mentioned the Discord a couple of times as well. We got a few people from the Discord hanging out right now. Actually, it's a great group of people. One thing that I've monetized really on the channel, the account, whatever you want to call it, since I've started. And so $2.99 a month if you want to be a part of an awesome group of Rangers fans. It'll get you exclusive access into our Ride on Rangers Discord. Would highly recommend. If it's not for you, no worries at all. But the way that you join is you become a member on YouTube or a subscriber on TikTok. Again, get that $2.99 a month subscription. We'll DM after the show. I'll get you in right away. Absolutely would love to keep growing that great community of people. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. Definitely appreciate all the ways that people support the show just by showing up, commenting, liking the show, sharing it with other people. It's awesome. I'm very, very grateful. But there's a little way you can take your support to the next level if you'd like. What's my take on Gore? Mackenzie Gore, we're talking about. I think Mackenzie Gore is probably working on some new things. I think he is a guy, and you put it in context, right? I say put these spring stats in context. Don't just brainlessly say it's spring training. Like, come on now. Don't brainlessly say that. But at the same time, frame it correctly. You've got Mackenzie Gore coming to a new organization. We know that the Rangers, when a new pitcher comes to town, they look at things, they tweak things, they try to get more out of guys. I can see a guy like Gore, brand new in the organization, somebody that they're paying a little bit closer attention to, right? I don't know that they are, with Cal Quantrill, maybe given as highly sophisticated of a breakdown to him as they are to Gore. Maybe they are. Maybe. But we're not going to know that foolproof. I would imagine, though, Mackenzie Gore, big trade acquisition. They are locked in on some things that they want him to try to do differently. And so I actually don't panic too much when it comes to Gore. I think Mackenzie Gore is likely trying to do some of the things that the club has asked him to do, and it's probably not the most comfortable for him. So I take those stats from Gore with a bit of a grain of salt. Beyond that, he's already, I think, permanent markered into that number 3 spot. I don't think Leiter is going to be able to do anything to usurp him from that. I think 3rd spot is Mackenzie Gore. So I think that gives you some freedom. Again, Gore is not fighting to make the roster. If you're fighting to make the roster, you're trying to have a bounce back year, I'd say your spring training stats matter a lot more. If you are locked into a spot, yeah, it's great when the numbers look good, but I think there's a little bit more forgiveness. These guys who are on the bubble, man, you can't just look at a 125 average and say, it's spring training, bro. Take it easy. These guys got to impress. You're not impressing with a $150 average. Let's get real. Yeah, I think Gore's going to be fine. 11-8 in spring training. Aaron, not too bad. Can't wait till the season, but off to a good start. Aaron, we talked about it, man. You guys know, I'm Cowboys fan, Mavericks fan. When the Cowboys go 0-4 in a preseason, I don't feel great. I've seen it happen too many times with the Cowboys. They go 0-4, and it's not a great season. I mean, and look, at this point, a great season to me with the Cowboys is making the playoffs. Like, I'll take making the playoffs at this point. Like an NFC championship, I know that's the big knock. I'll take the playoffs. Shoot. I'm not going to be greedy. But when the Cowboys go 0-4 in the preseason, it doesn't feel good, and it feels like it rarely works out well. And so the Rangers, 11-8 in spring. Again, does it mean they're going to the World Series? No. Does it make you feel a lot better as a fan, and does it help with team chemistry and just vibes in general in the clubhouse? I think absolutely. You're getting your butt kicked up and down the field every day in spring training. Yeah, you can mentally talk yourself out of it, but I still think it plays with you. It messes with you. I'm glad to see the Rangers with a positive record, 100%. CY is excited about Gore. Mason says he knows his pitching. I think he's going to be fine. Briefly met CY when I was there, and I mentioned Gore, and he seemed excited about him. Mace, that's so cool you got to meet CY. I mean, look, obviously, when this is a part of what you do for a living, you got to offer some criticisms here and there. I think CY has done an outstanding job with the pitching side of things. I think the offensive hits have eluded him a little bit, but the pitching, yeah, it's been on point. It's really, really hard to argue that. Need Rocker to get it, learn how to pitch and not just throw. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing with him, right? Command. And if you're going to be picking a pitcher to be the ace of your staff, command is so huge. Velo is nice, but man, if you can get a guy that can command that strike zone, that can command his pitches well, it's so huge, man. Greg Maddux, and I know that's a high bar when you throw out a name like that, but Greg Maddux was not a flamethrower, but he was so talented when he pitched because he could paint, man. He could hit whatever spot he wanted to. And so I do think that command, it needs to be a little more highly rated. A lot of people are infatuated with velo. I think you got to have guys with better command coming up in these farm systems. And so, Darnell, I couldn't agree more. You've got to have Kumar Rocker unlock that command, take it to the next level. We know he's been working on a changeup. We know the fastball. We know the off-speed, first-round pedigree, 100%. No questions there. but commanding those pitches, the mental side of the game, covering first base on a ground ball right side, something that we saw rear its ugly head in spring training already with Kumar. Yeah, those things got to get tidied up. They got to get tidied up. I think one bad thing for the staff is losing Maddox. He would be perfect with our starter group. Look, I don't want to paint Mike Maddox and the loss of Mike Maddox as a nothing burger. I just don't think it is. I think Mike Maddox is a very, very good coach. You look at the numbers of his staffs, the numbers back that up. He's a great pitching coach. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not a loss. It is a loss. I don't think the sky's falling, and I don't think you're saying that either, Kate. I don't think you're saying sky's falling, but I think you're saying, man, what could we be? How much better could we be with Maddox? I'm curious about that too. I still think the Rangers are going to be at minimum a top 7 staff in baseball. 30 teams, right? I think they're going to be top 7 at minimum. I think they could easily be top 5. I think it's going to be top 7 at minimum. So it's going to be a very good staff still. It's going to be hard to repeat what they did in 2025 defensively from a pitching perspective as well. But I still think the pitching is going to be very, very good. Don't think Mike Maddox will be as big as people think. Jordan Teagues is very good, and he's been a hot commodity around the league. I have heard that too. That's a good point to bring up. Velo is cool, but if it makes you a great pitcher, why are guys in AAA throwing 103? Because it gets you noticed, right? Throwing 103 is going to turn heads. It's sad, but I definitely have been around the game at various levels. What gets scouts to a high school game? What gets scouts to a high school game? It's 90s, man, and upper 90s. And if there's a high schooler that's touching 99 or 100, that's what gets people's attention. It's sad, but that's what kids these days grow up chasing. There's not a lot of kids that are idolizing command. There's a lot of kids growing up that are idolizing velo. And it makes such a big difference, man. It's an art pitching. It really is. I pitched a little bit when I played, and you guys know I don't ever bring up my playing career as some, humble brag or anything like that, man. I played low-level college ball. I did not get a ton of playing time in college at all. In high school, same thing, man. I love being a part of my teams. I think I was a pretty decent ball player, but I knew I was never going to go pro. But look, I pitched a little bit. It's an art. I didn't have it. I was not an artist when it came to pitching. I could get lucky. I could get some guys out here and there. Pitching is an art. And a lot of guys right now are just throwing the baseball instead of painting. And to me, I would love to see command become sexy again. I'd love to see command be something that people become infatuated with again, especially these young kids up and coming. Stop chasing 100, man. You're just going to blow out the arm. Become a pitcher's pitcher. Become a painter. I'd love to see it more. Keep going. I pitched a little and just pitched to get out. It's definitely tough. Yeah, look, it's not easy, man. You're up there on the mound. You're just trying to throw strikes. You got everybody looking at you. It's tough, man. It's tough. But you throw 100, you're going to get noticed. That's how the game works these days. I like it, hate it. That's how it is. And that's why we're in the position that we're at right now. More Tommy John and UCL surgeries than ever. And guys that come up like Kumar Rocker that have been able to throw hard their entire career, throw a little nasty off speed and get away with it. Like when you're Kumar Rocker and you're throwing upper 90s in high school and college, you don't have to be fine-tuned. And you're going to blow the ball past a lot of people, even if it's right down the pipe. Right? And there's not a lot of high school guys that are catching up well with 99, 98. I mean, there's some guys that are maybe putting a little contact on it here and there, but it's tough. For me, I would love to see exactly what Darnell said happen with Kumar. Get that command like on point, man. Get that to 100, and that guy is going to become one of the best pitchers in baseball. The mental side, too, I think it needs to go up a notch as well. And you cannot be letting silly mistakes, not covering first base on a ground ball right side. Like, that cannot happen. Just can't happen. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. What am I missing on TikTok here? Have I discussed the closer? Johnny, yeah, I kind of feel like writing's on the wall a little bit with the Beek signing that Garcia is going to become closer. I think they're looking at, hey, we don't have a lot of lefties right now. And so I do feel like Robert Garcia, this might be his move to the closer spot. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that. I definitely think this move with Beeks solidifies Latz as the fifth starter. But I almost feel like now they might roll with Robert Garcia as the closer, knowing you've got Beeks and you've got Alexander as other lefty options down the stretch. I mean, we'll see how that goes. I don't think any Rangers fan feels awesome about Robert Garcia in the closer role. I take that back. I've gone back and forth with a couple of people on X, especially. I've gone back and forth with a couple of people like they feel really good about Robert Garcia. And I'm like, you are more like you've got me in the optimism department. Like, I don't hate Robert Garcia. I don't dislike Robert Garcia, but I do not love him as a closer. I like him in matchups, lefty lefty, situationally, not just mindless ninth inning, throw him in the fire. Robert Garcia, though, with this Jalen Beeks move, does feel a bit primed to get that closer role. I hope they ride with Martin. They might go Martin Garcia tandem. I could see that happening, right? It's a little lefty heavy in the ninth inning. You go with Garcia. It's a little righty heavy in the ninth inning. You go with Martin. Does Diaz even make the opening day roster? I feel like he might go to AAA. Look, wasn't there a project? We got a projection earlier, didn't we, on the bullpen? Who threw that out there? That was Zachary, man. Garcia, Martin, Wynn, Spores, Alexander, Baumler, Beeks, Junis. That was the prediction from Fangraphs. I think Diaz is probably starting in AAA. I'm with Mason on this one. I definitely feel like he is a little bit lost right now. He had a really bad 25. He's not having a great spring training. I think he starts in AAA. 2 options? I thought he had 1, but okay, great. 2 is even better. I think it's kind of a no-brainer at this point. When is Kutch making the roster? Andrew McCutchen, to me, definitely needs to be a guy that the Rangers add to the 40-man and a guy that needs to make the 26-man opening day. I think Kutch is going to be a very solid right-handed option against lefties. You don't want Jock Peterson playing every day. I do think with Jock, the nice thing is if you like the lefty DH thing, you don't even have to have Jock DHing every day. You can put Corey, you can put Brandon, you can put guys who are left-handed hitters into that DH spot and give Jock a breather here and there. But when Kutch goes up against a lefty, good things have tended to happen over the course of his career. A 290 career average hitter against left-handed pitching. No surprise, one of his first ABs as a Ranger, he comes up against a lefty and mashes a double down the line. Like, he's had a lot of solid contact so far this spring. I would love to see Kutch get added sooner rather than later. I think that they might let things play out another week or so, but I expect McCutchen to be on the roster. It would shock me if they do not add him to the 40-man. It would shock me. I don't really know if I would. I don't know what I would do. Y'all might see me get on here and go scorched earth. I almost just would not even understand dumping McCutchen. I think McCutchen versus Jock Peterson is a no-brainer. McCutchen, I think most people would probably prefer him DHing every day over Jock Peterson right now. And I know Jock is making a pretty penny, but nevertheless, I think if you polled most Rangers fans and said McCutchen or Jock every day, most people are going to go McCutchen. And so from that angle, I would not understand dumping McCutchen and not even platooning him with Jock Peterson. That would make little to no sense to me. Kutch should make the roster. He most likely wouldn't sign that deal if he didn't have the roster assurance. Mace, you and I have been in lockstep on this. I had to battle some people. I told y'all this earlier in the show. Like, I was getting a little hyped up about McCutchen. I love Andrew McCutchen. I've been a Kutch fan. 2013 NL MVP, coming up with the Pirates. He was just fun to watch, man. I loved Kutch in those early 2010s days. And I think he's a great dude. I think he's a good leader. So I was kind of hyping up, kind of gassing up McCutchen a little bit. And I just had these, these random fans just like, bro, he's on a minor league deal. Bro, yeah, he's probably not even going to make the roster. Bro, it's a, it's a minor league deal. I'm just like, guys, he's not signing with Texas if there's not a very good chance he's making the roster. Now, look, I think as I found out more, it doesn't seem like Kutch had like a super wide range of offers, but it sounds like he could have waited things out a little bit and probably something would have materialized. He decided to go with the Rangers. He had been talking to them. They had a deal that was kind of almost done, and he went with it. But I don't think he's coming to Texas if it is not highly likely that he is going to make the roster. Got to see Kutch, liked what you saw. That's awesome. Mace was in Surprise. I know a bunch of y'all have gone to Surprise too. It's a great experience, man. Highly recommend, Mace. I know you feel the same way. Yeah, a lot of positive reports about Kutch. I mean, a lot of people say Kutch is a great, great dude. I'm a fan. I think I will be extremely happy seeing him get added to the 40 and debuting as the Rangers' right-handed DH against lefties, man. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Keep going. Can't be sentimental for Kutch. He was good, but I hope he makes the 26. Yeah, I mean, look, Big Tex, I'm not saying Kutch is a savior. I'm not saying Kutch, takes this offense to the next level. What I am saying is I think Kutch is an upgrade over Jock. I don't know if a lot of Rangers fans would argue with me on that. I think he's an upgrade over Jock. And so from that perspective, I don't want to see them cut him or let him go. I want to see them add him to the 40-man and give him a shot. Keep going. The furries. Yeah, that was hilarious, man. They brought up that post of his. What was that from, Jack? Like 2014? What was that X post? It was like 2014 or something. Furries from Kutch. That's great. Issue is we have to get 240 spots open, Beeks and McCutchen. Yes. Absolutely. Schumacher likes him. Only reason he's on the team. I'm sure that Skip does like him. Of course, Skip was early 2000s, like 05, 06. I think he came into the league. So definitely Skip was around in McCutchen's heyday. But yeah, I think that is absolutely true of this as well. I don't think McCutchen's getting brought in if Skip isn't a big fan. Yeah, so 2 spots. We've kind of arrived on this, Zach. This is a good thing to close on because we are past the hour mark here on the show. Try to keep it tight as I possibly can, but sometimes, we got to talk business here. But there's 240 spots that you have to clear. I think it's going to be difficult, but if you're asking me right now, who would I drop? I'm probably going Duran and Hellman. I'm going Duran and I'm going Hellman. That's me. I look at the pitchers right now. There's not really a pitcher I want to see the Rangers dump. I think there's a number of guys I go up and down this list. I mean, maybe Diaz, but I feel like that's tough. Diaz feels like the guy you dump and he goes to somebody else and starts lighting it up again. Like, I know that that's not really very scientific of me, but that's my only hesitation with Diaz. I think Diaz would maybe be the other guy you looked at. I just don't think anybody else pitching-wise on the 40-man is somebody that the Rangers want to let go. Now, Mark Church, I thought maybe the injury, if it nagged him more, maybe Mark Church would be a guy they moved to the IL, but I don't know. It's going to get really interesting because, Cody Bradford's coming back. He's not on the IL or anything right now, so that's fine. But so that's actually works out well. But Jordan Montgomery's going to come back. If you're asking me right now, I'm probably going Duran and Hellman. You tell me, who are your 2? Who are your 2? Who are you going to cut? If the Rangers have to make room for Kutch, they have to make room for Beeks. So you got 2 spots you've got to cut. I think it's going to be Duran and Hellman. We'll see what happens. I definitely feel like, you're going to have to make a tough decision in that regard. But I really don't see any other obvious choices. Keep going. Pirates kind of screwed Kutch. They should have brought him back. I couldn't agree more with you, Corey. I said that immediately when they signed him. I'm like, man, they screwed him over. But I'll happily take Kutch on the roster. Let's see. Duran is out. His time has passed. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Bryson, DM me. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit. DM me. Find me on X or find me on one of the other socials, but I know YouTube doesn't do it. But let me know. You can send me a vid. I coached baseball for a while. I don't profess to be Bruce Bochy, but I know a thing or two. Now that I'm doing this a little bit more, I've stepped a little bit further back from coaching, but I still love it. Coached baseball for a long time, coached football for a very long time. Love both those sports a lot. So find me, Bryson, on X or on Instagram or something. We'll DM and we'll make it happen, bud. Record prediction. I'm gonna go 86 and 76. 86 and 76. I think I could maybe see 87 and 75. I'm going to go 86 and 76 for the record prediction. That's the best I got for you. I don't think this is a 90-win team. I do think this team could win 88. I don't see higher than 88. So that would mean, 88 and 74? I could see 88 and 74. I'm going to go 86 and 76. I think they might go, maybe they'll go number 6. If you have Berger in the cleanup, you might want to go a lefty in the number 5 spot. Maybe think Evan Carter, maybe Josh Smith. You might want to go lefty in the 5 spot, Antonio. So I see Kutch being probably a number 6 guy. If Berger is not working out, maybe you move Kutch into that 4. But I think he might end up in that 6 spot. We'll see, man. It's going to be interesting. This is the fun part about it. See what Skip comes out with on opening day. Okay, so we've got Cade saying DFA, Hellman, and Otanez. Otanez definitely had a bit of a rough go this spring. I don't think there's any way you can skin that differently, man. 15.43 ERA. Only pitched 2 1/3 innings, but just rough. Otanez, though, a guy that the Rangers acquired from the A's organization. He was actually up on the big league club. I think they got recalled on September 29th, one of the last days of the season. Okay. But he played with the Aviators for a while. They claimed him off of waivers. And so it is going to be interesting here what they decide to do with Otanez. I do think they DFA Hellman. Hellman is 29 years old. He's not hitting well this spring. I could see a Hellman DFA. And I'm sad to say that, man. I like Mike. He's one of the little rascals. I mean, I know not all of us love the nickname, but we love the 16-4 run that Mike Hellman, Cody Freeman, Osuna took us on. But he feels like odd man out. I don't know that you're going to dump Willie MacGyver. Willie MacGyver, third catcher. You need a third catcher on the 40-man. I don't think they're going to dump Foscue, first-round pick in 2020. You don't want to go tail between the legs on a first-round pick. You already dumped Davis Wenzel, who was basically a first-round pick last year. I mean, Jock Peterson, wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be wild? They DFA Jock Peterson. I don't think they're going to do it. That would be wild if you DFA Jock. I don't think a lot of Rangers fans would be too pissed off, but that would be like the nuclear option is you DFA Jock. But I think it's more likely Hellman. Maybe they think about Duran, one of the pitchers, possibly, maybe Otanez, because he's so new to the organization. I don't think anybody else up and down. Tyler Alexander looks to be sticking. He's had a good spring. It feels like Hellman, Peterson, Duran, and Otanez are about the only options. I am so curious, y'all. Who are they going to DFA to make room for Beeks? I am so curious. I do think, Kate, I feel the exact same way. I feel this way about every player that the Rangers trade or release. I think I have the Cole Reagans PTSD. Like anybody that picks up one of our old guys, it never shocks me if they start raking. Now, Leody Taveras was maybe an exception. I know he had like the walk-off hit when he joined Seattle right away, but after that, he pretty much stunk it up and went down to AAA, and now he's with the Orioles. So Leody, maybe he kind of bucked the trend there, but Peterson definitely feels like a guy you DFA, and then he goes and rakes for somebody else for pennies while you're paying him millions. Any chance Blanco gets DFA'd, even with no chance given? I don't think so. I think they like the speed. And Blanco honestly might be a guy that they call up to the major league level. You like having a guy with wheels off the bench. Kate, I actually think they probably hold on to Blanco. I think they hold on to him. Otanez is definitely a guy that I think could be a potential DFA. He just joined the organization in 2025. They claimed him off waivers from the A's. Otanez, he might be a dude that gets the heave-ho. We keep going. Jock looking rough again. I don't think he bounces back. I think he has a better year, but I don't think he's going to be, 25 homer guy. I don't think he's going to be a major rebound, but I hope to be wrong. I really do. All right, y'all. Hey, that's about it. We've gone an hour 17 here. We're going to wrap this up. Sunday, I'm actually, you know what? We are going to be on the road on Sunday. I'm doing a little spring break trip. So I don't know what we're going to do Sunday. We might not do a show Sunday. If we do, it'll be quick. Maybe I'll do something, from the hotel or something like that. I might have to keep it brief, but we'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. But I want to ask you, follow me over on X. I post on there every day. I post on Facebook and Threads. It all goes to the same place. Or I should say the same content makes it to different places. So anyone that you're on, follow me over there. I haven't done a short in a while, man. I've just been locking in on doing the lives and posting on X, and I've been making some highlight edits and stuff like that. I haven't done a short in a while, but to be honest, during spring training, there's only so much you can kick around. Once the season starts, I'm going to start lighting it up. Some of y'all were bugging me to do my bet a penny for every follower on a Texas Rangers win again. I don't know if I need to fire up that series or not. And I've got a few more followers than 2 years ago when I did that challenge. So I don't know if I'm going to do bet a penny for every follower on a Texas Rangers win. I don't know. I'll think about it. Do a short on DFA options. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can hammer one out. I just worry that they're going to announce it like tonight or something, and it's going to throw it all for a loop. But I might have to do a DFA short. Who are the Rangers going to DFA? Who should they DFA? All right. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for following along this show. I am not going to be at the home opener. I will not be at the home opener, but I'll be watching and I'll be doing a live. That's for sure. I hope to make it to a couple Rangers games this year, definitely, but will not be at the home opener. Hey, if you're not following, hit that follow button. Huh? If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe. If you're on TikTok, hit that follow button, man. This is what we do, man. This is the vibe. During the season, we're pretty much live after every game. I mean, almost without fail, unless I'm out of town or have some kind of emergency situation, whatever, sick or one of the kids gets sick, something like that. But pretty much live after every show. Would love to see you guys come and be a part of this amazing community we've got here right on Rangers. It's going to be a fun 2026. I'm really looking forward to it. Appreciate your support. And we'll see you next time, man, whenever that may be. For sure, it'll be next Thursday. But maybe we'll do a short show on Sunday as well, even though I'll be on the road. So it'll be a little bit of a different setup. But love y'all. Thank you. And as I always say, to end every show, God bless. Go Rangers.